at the vast and spacious Xiao family residence. The golden sun shone down on the courtyard. In the room of the young miss, the 10th daughter of the Xiao family, Xiao Yuejia, opened the window. Then she sat down at the desk, picked up a brush, and began to write, carefully forming each character. After a while, she stopped and looked back at the paper filled with neat lines of text. With a satisfied expression, I wrote quite well this time. The 10th daughter of the Xiao family, Xiao Yu. Suddenly, she froze at the sound of a voice from outside. This child, how many times have I told you? Why are you still sitting here writing? From outside, the door opened, and a madam entered with her maidservant. It was Mother Xiao, Madam Chun, and the maidservant, San Hu. Seeing Xiao Yu still engrossed at her study desk, Madam Chun grumbled in annoyance. I told you to only practice for an hour and then rest. Xiao Yu quickly ran to her mother's side, acting cute. Mother, I just finished reading. Now I'm writing to rest. Her mother caressed her face and said, aren't they both the same? Then she affectionately tapped Xiao Yu on the head. For a girl like you, what's the use of reading so many books? But Xiao Yu replied cheerfully, of course it's useful. Books are the ladder of human progress. At this, both Madam Chun and San, who were stunned by the word books. A ladder? Humankind, progress? Seeing the two of them standing there in a daze, Xiao Yu then collapsed, covering her face as she realized, I almost forgot, people in this era have never heard this saying. Just as you think. I came from the modern era, originally a master's student researching ancient art history. Xiao Yu once stood at a lectern, in a suit and shirt, but because of an accident, I was reborn and transmigrated to this chaotic northern dynasty. And I became the 10th daughter of the Xiao family. After being reborn, I also realized a simple truth. Survival is the most important thing. As she thought, Xiao Yu's eyes glared, her teeth gritted, and her hands clenched with determination, which made the two people beside her even more shocked. Then Xiao Yu thought, with a pained expression, who says a transmigrator has to live a grand and sensational life? It's also good to be an ordinary person and live out one's life. Elsewhere, the neighing of horses and the sound of their hooves echoed loudly outside. A group of people on horseback, followed by a cloud of dust. Seeing this, Xiao Yu asked, who are those people outside? How can they ride their horses so fast in Exine County? Madam Chun froze and interrupted, don't speak nonsense. Someone who can do that must be a person of high status. Don't you cause any trouble. Suddenly, a maidservant ran over in a panic, calling out, Madam, madam, the eldest young master has arrived. After that announcement, a pair of feet touched the ground from horseback. A handsome and dashing young man stepped down, his expression calm. It turned out to be the eldest young master of the Xiao family. Xiao Xing seeing this, Madam Chen quickly reminded Xiao Yu, the eldest young master is here. You must not be impolite. Even though he is of a younger generation, his status in this Xiao family is even more important than your father's. Xiao Yu could only freeze, looking at Xiao Xing's back. Xiao Yu rubbed her chin and thought, Xiao Xing, the eldest of the 4th generation of the Xiao family, who is also my cousin, is already an official of the 3rd rank at the Dali Temple at only 26 years old. His future is bright. He is the future hope of the entire Xiao family. And I, who transmigrated from the future, already know that in 6 years, he will end this 400-year period of turmoil and unify all of Huaxiao once again. Although the Great Qi dynasty founded by Xiao Xing only lasted for 10 years after his death before collapsing, the people of the Xiao family were not only not eliminated by the subsequent Great Wei dynasty, but were even taken care of more. Thinking of this, Xiao Yu was as excited as if she had found a brilliant halo. In other words, I just need to latch on to Xiao Xing, and I will definitely be able to save my own little life. While she was very excited, a hand gently placed itself on her right shoulder. It was Madam Chun. She reminded her quietly. The eldest young master has a very important status in the Xiao family. We still don't know if our family can return home smoothly. This time could be our chance. You should go and greet the eldest young master. Leaving a good impression will definitely be beneficial for you. Xiao Yu naturally agreed and said, I'll go right away. She also thought to herself, I must leave a good impression on this emperor, cousin whom I've never met. As she walked briskly, she clearly understood whether I can survive or not can only depend on him. Meanwhile, Xiao Xing sneezed continuously. At that moment, the 3rd master standing behind him spoke up. Eldest young master, are you all right? He just waved his hand and replied, I'm fine. It's probably because I was in a bit of a hurry. Then the third master said again, "The third madam and the 10th miss had a hard journey in the carriage. The third master has arranged for them to rest here." Hearing this, Xiaoxing turned back and asked, "Third aunt and 10th sister are also here?" The master replied, "Yes, they are." Then Xiaoxing, who was walking, stopped immediately. "Then I won't go to the inner courtyard. I'll rest in the study in the outer courtyard for one night." The third master then said, "Then this lowly one will make arrangements for you." After speaking, Xiaoxing went to the gate and opened it. At the same time, Xiaoyu, standing on the other side, also opened the door at the same moment. The two of them, as if meeting for the first time, both froze and looked at each other. Xiaoyu and Xiaoxing came face to face. Unfortunately, Xiaoyu tripped and fell forward, causing Xiaoxing to reach out and catch her. A moment later, Xiaoyu shyly pulled away, "My apologies for my rudeness." At that moment, the third master standing behind spoke up. "Eldest young master, that is the 10th miss, Xiaoyu." At this time, Xiaoyu, with a remorseful expression, clasped her hands in front of her and bowed her head. "Cousin, I didn't know you were outside the door. Please forgive my rude behavior." She blamed herself. "I was in too much of a hurry just now. I didn't expect to run into my cousin." As for Xiaoxing, he just stood there looking at her without saying anything. This made Xiaoyu cover her face and turn away. "He's not going to have a bad impression of me, is he?" To resolve the awkwardness, she turned back with a bright smile. "Cousin wants to go to the study. I was just copying scriptures in the study earlier, so it's a bit messy. I'll go and tidy it up right now." But then she was met with Xiaoxing's coldness. He just walked past her and left, saying, "It's fine. I just want to borrow this room for one night. There's no need to tidy up." One would think Xiaoyu would be upset, but instead, she was intrigued, as expected of the man who would later become emperor. Indeed, the emperor's heart is so vast it could hold a boat. No, the emperor's heart is so vast it could hold an entire aircraft carrier. Then Xiaoyu hurriedly ran after him. "Then let me lead you to the study." As they walked, Xiaoxing also replied cheerfully, "That's fine." A moment later, Xiaoyu, leading the way, arrived at the study. "Cousin, please." Stepping inside was a spacious area. Xiaoxing followed Xiaoyu's lead, and as he walked, he spotted the paper on the study desk, walked over, and picked it up to look, causing Xiaoyu to panic. Xiaoxing observed it intently for a moment. During that time, the most nervous person was Xiaoyu. After looking, he left a compliment. "The handwriting is quite good." At this, Xiaoyu finally breathed a sigh of relief. "Cousin, you praise me too much. I still need to practice a lot." "Cousin, please rest first. I will have someone bring some snacks here." Xiaoxing agreed immediately. The third master saw Xiaoyu looking cheerful, even humming a tune as she left, and he spoke up. "The 10th miss probably doesn't know. To be praised by you is a rare thing." As for Xiaoxing, he was still holding the calligraphy practice sheet of Xiaoyu. He nodded his head and said, "This girl is quite interesting." Xiaoyu had just gone outside with a look of pure happiness and called out, "Sanhu." Sanhu appeared immediately. "Young miss, what are your orders?" Xiaoyu instructed, "My cousin needs to attend to official business. I'm afraid it will be a while before he has time to eat. Tell the kitchen to prepare a few dishes in advance. Remember to always keep them warm." Then she froze, clasping her hands with a dazed and hopeful expression. "Cousin, you must feel my efforts." A while later in the study, freshly brewed tea was poured into steaming cups. Xiaoxing was still sitting at the table, resting his chin on his hand, and turned to ask the third master, "How many hours have passed?" The third master replied, "It has been 2 hours." Then he looked at the food box. "Young master, the 10th miss has brought snacks for you. Would you like to have some?" Xiaoxing looked very suspiciously at the hot steam rising from the food. "Then I'll have a taste." As soon as he opened it, inside were hot pastries, arranged on a plate, looking appealing. Xiaoxing used chopsticks to pick up a pastry and even brought it close to observe. He thought to himself, "These are all commoners' foods I've never seen before." Xiaoxing's eyes suddenly widened. So delicious, and its taste is savory, not like those snacks that are both sweet and cloying. Seeing this, the third master thought he couldn't eat it and said, "Do you need this lowly one to prepare another dish for you?" But Xiaoxing replied, "No need, these dishes are enough." After speaking, Xiaoxing was still in shock. "I didn't expect third aunt to come from a poor background, but to have such a family recipe in her house. By the way, I haven't gone to greet third aunt yet. You go and inform them first." In just a moment, the plates were wiped clean. In the guest courtyard outside, the sun was high, and the residence was surrounded by lush green trees. A small figure under the shade of a tree was using a branch to draw on the ground. It turned out to be Xiao Yu. She was carving each character into the dirt. Resting her chin on her hand, she sighed, "I wonder if I left a good impression on my cousin." At the same time, a man's voice rang out, "Are you talking about me?" This startled Xiao Yu. Then, a little flustered, she threw the branch away and stammered, "Cousin." Seeing this, Xiao Xing also became a little pensive because of the character she had carved on the ground. Within the profound mystery, there is yet another mystery. From it emerges a shared name. He smiled and asked, "Tenth sister likes to write." In response, Xiao Yu looked innocent and naive. I like it very much." But in her heart, she was feeling down, thinking about laptops and smartphones. "Anyway, in this era, I can only kill time by writing." Then Xiao Xing offered, "If that's the case, then I will give you a gift." Xiao Yu was surprised to hear this. "A gift?" Xiao Xing said, "I have a manuscript by Master Xie. If you like it, I will give it to you when we get to the capital." After hearing this, Xiao Yu froze, her eyes wide and mouth agape as she exclaimed, "Xie? Master Xie?" Upon hearing Master Xie, Xiao Yu was stunned because Master Xie was the renowned calligrapher Madame Xie, whose brushwork was elegant, charming, delicate, and profound. She was one of the few female calligraphers in history. With a dazed look, she looked up and asked Xiao Xing, "A manuscript by Master Xie. Isn't this incredibly valuable?" But Xiao Xing replied nonchalantly, "What's so valuable about it? It's just a manuscript, as long as you like it." At this, Xiao Yu trembled, clasping her hands in excitement. "Thank you, cousin." Far in the distance, the third uncle stood observing with his subordinate. Seeing the two's closeness, the subordinate spoke up. The eldest young master and the 10th young miss, if not for their blood relation, would look like a very well-matched couple. But the third uncle suddenly said pensively, "That's not necessarily certain. After all, the eldest young master's background is not that simple." Recalling 26 years ago, a baby was carried through the quiet, deserted night, its lonely cries reaching the gates of the Xiao residence. Suddenly, there was a sound from within, and the gates swung open. Old Master Xiao was still young at the time. From inside, he asked in surprise, "Who is it?" The third uncle opened the gate with one hand, holding the child with the other, panting from exhaustion. He loudly knelt and presented the child before Old Master Xiao. "By the Emperor's secret order, I hope the Old Master will adopt this child." In his shock, Old Master Xiao took the child with trembling hands. "This is the Emperor's offspring?" But he could only force a smile and say, "But from now on, you will be my son, named Xiao Xing." At that moment, the child was very well behaved, not fussing, with only tears lingering on his eyelashes. Recalling this, the third uncle was still so lost in thought that his subordinate had to call out twice, "Butler, butler." "What did you just say?" Only then did he snap out of it and just smile, saying, "I'm old. I just like to mumble to myself." On the other side, an excited Xiao Yu led Xiao Xing, "Cousin, please come in." Xiao Xing also agreed and went inside with Xiao Yu. Arriving before Madame Chun, Xiao Xing bowed. Third aunt. Madame Chun was very welcoming, smiling as she received him. "Eldest young master, there's no need for such formalities. Hurry and get a cushion for the eldest young master to sit on." A bow. Xiao Yu was also very obedient and went immediately. "Yes," but she forgot to introduce him, causing Xiao Xing to pause and ask in confusion, "A bow this is?" Before she could explain, Madame Chun interjected, "The eldest young master may not know, but Yu has the nickname Bao Nyang. Her third uncle, and I have called her that since she was little." This made Xiao Yu extremely flustered as she called out, "Mother." She thought Xiao Xing would laugh at such a childish name, but he repeated it with great interest, "Bao Nyang. That's a nice name." A moment later, the three of them sat at the dining table. "That's right. Has the eldest young master eaten yet?" "I've had the snacks 10th sister brought. They were delicious." Madame Chun, sitting beside them, smiled and covered her mouth. "This child has nothing better to do, so she often tinkers with these kinds of dishes, but she's very talented in this aspect. The dishes she comes up with are all very tasty." Xiao Xing also fit right in, raising his wine cup and praising, "10th sister is very clever." Seeing this, Xiao Yu was pleased. "Cousin, you flatter me." She was smiling, but in her heart, she felt a bit embarrassed because she had only copied dishes from the future. Then, Madame Chun said, "This child, the eldest young master, dotes on you, so why you still call him cousin?" This made Xiao Yu turn to her mother in surprise. "Huh?" Madame Chun promptly reminded her, "Hurry and call him eldest brother." But Xiao Yu seemed to hesitate. I. At this moment, Xiao Xing held the wine cup in his hand, still looking at her attentively, as if in expectation. Xiao Yu, her face bashful, stammered out each word. Eldest brother. After hearing this, Xiao Xing gently patted her head. A moment later, he put down his wine cup. It's getting late. I shall take my leave. Madame Chun, pleased with his courtesy, smiled. All right. A bow. Hurry and see the eldest young master out. Xiao Yu also happily left at once. After seeing Xiao Xing outside, he said, all right, you can go back inside. The obedient Xiao Yu didn't forget to reply, yes, take care, cousin. But Xiao Xing suddenly stopped and looked at her. Why not call me eldest brother? This question made Xiao Yu flustered, to break her awkwardness, Xiao Xing patted her head again. Then he turned to leave and said, later, have someone bring the calligraphy practice sheets to my place. If I have time, I'll give you some feedback. Xiao Yu replied, yes. Then, Xiao Xing turned back to leave a compliment. Your snacks are delicious. Bring some more for me later, okay? Xiao Yu froze solid. Then her face flushed red, and she bowed her head in embarrassment. Take care, eldest brother. Xiao Yu just stood there dazed, watching Xiao Xing's figure recede into the distance. She just said in a trance, eldest brother is so handsome. But then Xiao Yu snapped back to reality, screaming in her mind, what on earth am I thinking? That's my cousin. Then she took long strides and ran quickly. I have to go back. In the room, a mess had been pulled out, drawers were rummaged through, and the precious jade box was also opened. Madame Chun was rummaging under the table. San Hu, standing beside her, said anxiously, Madam, perhaps you should let me look for it. But Madame Chun was only focused on finding the item. Then San Hu took out a bracelet. Is this bracelet okay? But Madame Chun said, too ugly. San Hu took out a purse embroidered with a lotus flower. What about this purse? But she also said no. At this moment, Xiao Yu opened the door and entered, freezing in a daze. Mother, what are you looking for? Madame Chun turned around and smiled. A bow is back. She quickly pulled her in by the hand. The Dragon Boat Festival is coming soon. I'm thinking about what gift to give your eldest brother. Xiao Yu replied with naive surprise. Didn't we say we would weave 5 colored cords and draw the 5 poisons painting together? She immediately received a flick on the forehead from her mother. Madame Chun frowned and explained, I'm talking about your eldest brother, not your 6th brother. At this, Xiao Yu held her head with both hands and thought of Xiao Xing. So, she was talking about eldest brother Xiao Xing. Then, while searching for things and placing them on a tray for San Hu, Madame Chun turned to urge her, don't just stand there in a daze. Come here and help me think of a good gift. Xiao Yu was still surprised. A gift? Then she came up with an herbal idea. How about we make scented zongzi for eldest brother? But Madame Chun immediately rejected it. Absolutely not. What if something happens to your eldest brother after eating these things? Then not only would the gift be a failure, but we would also make an enemy. But Xiao Yu seemed regretful. I'll wrap those myself. I'll give them to him right after wrapping them. I'm sure there won't be any problems. Madame Chun could only turn away and sigh. A bow. You don't understand how sinister and terrifying the world can be. Then she spoke again in a sad tone. It's all my fault for my weak womb. If I had been able to give birth to a son, I wouldn't have to be so meticulous, and a bow would have someone to rely on in the future. But Xiao Yu looked very strong at this moment, clenching her fist and smiling as she held it out to her mother. Mother, don't say that. Whether you have a son or not, we can rely on ourselves to survive. Besides, Father will protect us too. As if reassured, Madame Chun smiled and replied, I suppose that's the only way. Then she sat down on the cushion. It's getting late. You should go back now. I'll keep thinking on my own. Xiao Yu also said yes and then went out, closing the door. When she left, Madame Chun became sad again. In Xiao Yu's room, by a brightly lit desk, Xiao Yu was still holding a brush, writing. After a moment, she paused and turned to ask San Hu, do you think this character is beautiful? San Hu immediately clapped her hands. Young Mrs. Handwriting is completely one of a kind. Hearing this, Xiao Yu seemed relieved. She held up the paper and smiled. I'm not that amazing. My eldest brother is much better than me. Thinking of how skillfully Xiao Xing could write, Xiao Xing would not only become the emperor in the future, but also a renowned calligrapher of his time, his powerful and firm brushstrokes making him a famous master recorded in the annals of history. Then Xiao Yu started writing frantically again. No, I have to write it again. San Hu stood behind her, covering her mouth with a smile. Young miss, you're worrying too much. Young miss, you're better at painting. Why don't you draw a few pictures for the eldest young master and ask for his guidance? Hearing this, Xiao Yu turned and covered her mouth with a shy smile. You're treating eldest brother like my father. as if I could just send it over and he'd critique it for me. Where would he find the time for that? Sanhu was a bit embarrassed and just stood there quietly. But a moment later, Xiaoyu handed a stack of papers to Sanhu. Take this to eldest brother. While you're at it, ask the kitchen to make some pastries and dried rations to bring over as well. Sanhu took them and immediately said yes and left. But Xiaoyu suddenly paused, thinking for a moment. She stood up and called out as Sanhu was reaching the door, Sanhu, wait a moment, take this over as well. Xiaoyu then took out a bracelet. Sanhu was surprised. This is the 5-colored cord bracelet young miss made. This is much better than giving calligraphy. It's both noble and lovely. Young miss is truly a young Mississippi. Xiaoyu was also very pleased. Stop praising me. Hurry and take these things over there. Sanhu then left. Young miss, I'm going now. Xiaoyu smiled and nodded. She appeared very confident on the outside, but after being left alone in the room, Xiaoyu buried her head on the desk, worrying anxiously. I'm about to be judged by the best calligrapher of the era. I'm so nervous. Elsewhere in the study, a large group of elderly officials were discussing animatedly in pairs. Xiaoxing sat before a desk full of memorials. Just then, Sanhu entered, carrying a stack of papers. Eldest young master, this is the calligraphy practice paper and snacks the young miss sent over. Xiaoxing showed no annoyance and just said, put it down. He thought to himself, I didn't expect the girl spoiled by third uncle to be so quick. Seeing this, the third uncle asked, I wonder whose calligraphy this is that it could be evaluated by the eldest young master? Xiaoxing said, just taking a casual look. Then he picked up the stack of papers, and his expression suddenly changed in surprise. The third uncle also observed, stroking his beard and saying, this is the ink plum ode by old master Xiaoqing. Xiaoxing replied, that's right. Although the writing is neat, the script isn't rigid, but flexible and easy to read, looking beautiful and graceful with a touch of gentle shyness. He widened his eyes and smiled. I'm a little jealous of third uncle. Why does no one write like this for me? Xiaoxing then dipped the brush in ink and then began to write line after line. A moment later, he finished a piece. What do you all think of this calligraphy of mine? The officials were all astonished and began whispering amongst themselves. Suddenly, someone appeared out of nowhere, clapping loudly. Congratulations, eldest young master, on completing another timeless piece. Pei Jun appeared, clapping in praise. The others also chimed in. Pei Jun is right. The eldest young master's writing is very beautiful. But Xiaoxing just scoffed. I am still far from it. Pei Jun approached him and replied with a smile. Far from it? Young master, how old are you this year? By the time you are 80, you will surely be able to create the greatest work of all time. Then Xiaoxing immediately retorted, when it comes to smooth talking, the rest of us combined can't compare to you alone. Pei Jun could only clasp his hands and bow. Young master, every word I say comes from the bottom of my heart. Xiaoxing paid him no mind and just rolled up the paper. All right, I know you're very sincere. Butler, give this calligraphy to the 10th young Mississippi. The butler immediately took it. Yes, sir. At this, everyone was a bit puzzled. The eldest young master seems to be very fond of this cousin. To think he would give this calligraphy sample to her, while Pei Jun was lost in thought. Eldest young master, could it be that he wants the 10th young miss to copy his ode to the autumn wind? Afterward, everyone turned their attention to Xiaoxing, who was sitting at the table, and discussed in low voices. Xiaoxing tapped his fingers on the table as a reminder. What news has come from the capital? An official reported. There is news from the capital that the crown princess is gravely ill and on the verge of death. During this time, the Yang family has sent several young ladies from their clan to the palace to stay by the gravely ill crown princess's side. Hearing this, third uncle was stunned. Stay by her side? I think they want the Yang family to have another crown princess in the future. Then Pei Jun smiled and asked, Young master, this position of crown princess, should we contend for it? The question caught Xiaoxing off guard, and Pei Jun reminded him. Previously, when His Majesty chose a crown princess for the crown prince, there were no girls of suitable age in the direct line of the Xiao family. But now, it seems the young master has several cousins who have reached marriageable age. But Xiaoxing propped up his chin with a troubled expression and said, No, they are all engaged. Pei Jun then asked specifically, Is the 10th lady engaged as well? Suddenly, Xiaoxing remembered the 10th lady, recalling her radiant image in the morning sun. He pushed himself up with his hands. This matter is for third uncle to decide. It's not convenient for me to make the decision. Just as he was about to turn and leave, Pei Jun spoke up. Where is the young master going? Xiao Xing said as he turned away. It's already the Yin hour. We should depart. Pei Yin will stay behind to take care of third aunt. The rest will set out with me. Pei Yin immediately replied, understood. The next day in Xiao Yu's room, the sun was high outside under the lush green canopy of trees. In the room, Xiao Yu was getting ready in front of the mirror. With Sanhu beside her, she asked, the eldest young master left early this morning? Sanhu replied, that's right. I heard he only rested for half a shurchun before having to depart. Xiao Yu looked worried as well. Eldest brother has worked hard. Sanhu, who was combing her hair, suddenly remembered. Oh, that's right. Before the eldest young master left, he specifically instructed that this be given to you. Young Mississippi hearing this, Xiao Yu was very curious. Then Sanhu took out the rolled-up calligraphy from a box. Xiao Yu was surprised. Is it this? Xiao Yu then unrolled the calligraphy. She was utterly stunned. This is... After reading what was on it, Ode to the Autumn Wind. Ode to the Autumn Wind is Xiao Xing's masterpiece. Although the original was not passed down, it has been copied many times by later generations. Many historians have commented that this famous poem has a distinct contradictory nature, revealing Xiao Xing's great ambition. At this moment, Xiao Yu was extremely puzzled. Why do you think eldest brother would want to give this to me? Sanhu also paused. Perhaps he wants you, young miss, to practice your writing with this poem. But Xiao Yu couldn't believe it. How could that be? Eldest brother writes in wild cursive script. His brushstrokes are so powerful, there's no need for me to copy it. Sanhu then said, that is the eldest young master's reward for you, young Mississippi. At this, Xiao Yu began to suspect. I suppose so. Then Sanhu added with a smile. That's right, the eldest young master also left behind a young master Pei, saying he will escort you and madam back to the capital. Xiao Yu asked eagerly, young master Pei is also handsome, right? Sanhu was surprised. How did you know, young miss? At this, Xiao Yu smiled. How could I not know from looking at your expression? Xiao Yu saw Sanhu's shy expression through the hazy mirror. Sanhu scratched her head. That young master is very handsome, but this servant thinks he's still a little less so than the eldest young master. Xiao Yu, not to be outdone, said, really? I really want to see for myself. Just then, Madame Chen opened the door and came in. She smiled and said, what do you want to see? But Xiao Yu immediately brushed it off. It's nothing. Sanhu said it's very lively outside. It seems someone is performing acrobatics. Madame Chan said, it seems a monkey circus troupe has arrived outside. Then Xiao Yu ran to her side and asked, Mother, what brings you here? Madame Chan said at once, hurry and pack your luggage. We will also return to the capital tomorrow. The word struck Xiao Yu like a bolt of lightning, stunning her. So soon? Madame Chun frowned and explained, we've been resting for so long. If we don't go back now, what will your great-grandmother and grandmother think? Xiao Yu turned away sulkily. What else could they think? They'll just think mother is putting on an act. But Madame Chun nodded repeatedly. Besides, your eldest brother returned last night, so we can't delay any longer. Suddenly, there was a knock on the door, and a servant came to report. Madam, young Mississippi Xiao Yu asked, what is it? Just then, Pei Jun appeared. Young Master Pei requests an audience. As Pei Jun appeared and bowed, Madame Chun, with an excited face, waved her hand. Young Master Pei is here. Quickly let him in. Sanhu complied, and then let Pei Jun in, while Madame Chun pushed Xiao Yu behind her. Quick, go hide behind this screen. To Xiao Yu's bewilderment, Madame Chen reminded her, in a moment, you just wait here and get a good look at young Master Pei. Xiao Yu could only comply, filled with utter confusion. As for Pei Jun, after entering, he smiled and reported, your subordinate has prepared the carriage. Madam may leave at any time. Madame Chun, sitting at the table, replied with a friendly smile, you've worked hard, young Master Pei. Pei Jun was also very modest. This is what your servant ought to do. Then his expression suddenly froze, his attention drawn to the side. Sanhu was sulking behind the screen, one hand gripping the edge. It turned out to be Xiao Yu, who curiously peeked her head out and met Pei Jun's gaze. He was startled, and Xiao Yu immediately pulled back, covering her face with her hands. She pouted in embarrassment. I actually got caught. How embarrassing. Meanwhile, young Master Pei was dazed, wondering to himself, is that the 10th young miss? She is indeed delicate and beautiful. He felt a bit wistful, while Madame Chun kept calling his name, young Master Pei, young Master Pei. He then snapped out of it and respectfully clasped his hands before her. Seeing this, Madam Chen smiled. We will depart as soon as we finish packing. Young Master Pei, still a bit flustered from a moment ago, replied, understood. Later, after young Master Pei had left, Xiao Yu slowly peeked her face out. Mother, Madam Chen asked, did you get clear look? What do you think of young Master Pei? Xiao Yu was a bit awkward. Well, she rubbed her chin, looked into the distance, and said, his demeanor is relaxed, his speech is elegant, and at such a young age, he has already become eldest brother's aide. His future prospects are surely boundless. But his every move seems to be imitating Xiao Xing. You must be a huge fan of Xiao Xing, right? Hearing Xiao Yu say this, Madam Chen was overjoyed. I mean, what do you think of him as a fiancé? The words were like a clap of thunder, leaving both San Hu and Xiao Yu stunned. Xiao Yu blushed slightly and said, young Master Pei is eldest brother's aide. He's probably not that young anymore, yet he's still not married? Madam Chen smiled and replied, young Master Pei is 24 this year and is still unmarried. He says that he is single-mindedly focused on establishing his career, so he has missed the chance to marry. I guess he probably wants to marry a lady from a noble family. After hearing this, Sanhu also ran up excitedly. Young miss, just think how handsome he is. Young miss, please agree. Xiao Yu became pensive at this moment. Her face fell into contemplation. Then she turned to answer Madam Chen. I will listen to mother in all matters. Mother's judgment of character is surely not wrong. Madam Chen smiled and sighed. Silly girl, actually, your father found him for you. His name is written on this list here. Xiao Yu was still a bit hesitant, but agreed. But young Master Pei is so outstanding. It's enough to hide his humble origins. Could it be that the elders in the family all turn a blind eye? Hearing this, Madam Chen also wondered, crossing her arms and speculating. Perhaps he wasn't in the capital before? Xiao Yu also found it somewhat convincing. That's probably it. Then Madam Chen reiterated. So, in short, you've seen him now. Whether you want to get to know him better after we get to the capital is up to you to decide. Xiao Yu also reluctantly agreed. I understand. But she was actually thinking to herself, unmarried at 24, his standards must be very high. It's not certain he'll even take a liking to me. While she was lost in thought, she was tapped on the head by Madam Chen. But let's not talk about this now, you come with me. Xiao Yu didn't understand what was happening, but complied. Then Madam Chen led Xiao Yu away. Arriving at Madam Chen's room, she led Xiao Yu inside. Xiao Yu followed behind, extremely puzzled. Mother, what is it? Why do you seem so mysterious? At this moment, Madam Chen's expression changed, becoming colder as she said, You come here. Xiao Yu, with her incomprehensible puzzlement, approached her. Then Madam Chen took out a box. You'll keep these things. As soon as the box was opened, Xiao Yu was utterly stunned. Inside were all sorts of sparkling, glittering items, she stammered. This, before she could form the words, Madame Chen picked up a golden hairpin from inside. From now on, you will keep them. These things are my private property that your maternal grandmother gave me before coming to the capital. Even your father doesn't know. Xiao Yu looked embarrassed. How can this be? But Madame Chen firmly pushed the box into her hands. Just keep it safe. Xiao Yu looked very hesitant. But this is the property your maternal grandmother gave you. You should be the one to keep it, right? Why are you giving it to me? Then she was flicked hard on the forehead by Madame Chen. She smiled. Why is this child suddenly so silly? Your older sister is about to get engaged. Could it be that I won't give her a gift when she gets married? I want to give your sister such good things. My personality is a bit gossipy. I'm afraid I'll accidentally spill everything about these items, so I want to keep them with you. Xiao Yu frowned and thought for a moment, then agreed with her. Yes, then I will keep them for you. Whenever you need them, just tell me. But Madame Chen sincerely held her daughter's arms and said, What reason is there to take back a gift that has been given? All right, go back and pack your luggage. We will be leaving right away. Xiao Yu still seemed hesitant, but had to agree. The next day, in front of the vast, magnificent, and imposing mansion gate, 2 carriages were already waiting, where Pei Jun and Madame Chen with her daughter were. Young Master Pei came forward and said respectfully, The carriages are fully prepared. We can depart at any time. Madame Chen smiled warmly and replied, All right, let's go then. Then Xiao Yu got on the carriage, still not forgetting to look back at young Master Pei. Seeing this, he immediately spoke up. 10th young miss, be careful. After speaking, he used his hand to lift the curtain. Xiao Yu stepped onto the carriage and thanked him. Thank you, young Master Pei. Young Master Pei stood there, staring at her blankly. Then the 2 carriages set off. Xiao Yu sat in the carriage, lost in thought, looking outside through the window frame. Suddenly, a laugh from beside her distracted her. It turned out to be from San, who was pouring tea inside. Xiao Yu was surprised and asked, What are you laughing at? Sanhu replied, young Master Pei has feelings for you, young miss. Could it be that you don't feel anything at all? Xiaoyu just calmly lifted the teacup, blew on it to cool it down, and said, my marriage is to be decided by my parents. Hearing this, Sanhu seemed heartbroken and said sadly, you are too unfeeling, young miss. I should just continue sewing socks, while Xiaoyu just chuckled at this humor. Suddenly the carriage shook violently, causing Sanhu and Xiaoyu inside to sway. Xiaoyu shouted loudly, what's happening? Sanhu, who was sewing a sock, immediately pricked her hand with a needle, drawing blood. Xiaoyu rushed over in a panic. Sanhu, are you all right? Sanhu, wincing slightly, replied, I just pricked my finger, it's nothing. It's just a pity about this pair of socks for you, young miss. Looking at the blood-stained sock, Xiaoyu immediately said, what time is it now? And you're still concerned about this sock? Then she stuck her head out and asked, Master Pei, what happened? Master Pei, who was driving the horse outside, said, 10th young miss, there's a group of horsemen approaching from the front. I don't know where they're from. The group of horsemen rode at a very fast speed, kicking up a cloud of dust wherever they went. Xiaoyu observed from a distance and thought to herself, the only ones who would dare to be so arrogant near the capital like this could only be the Jidushi's army. Then she reminded him, then make way for them. Don't cause a conflict. Master Pei replied, yes. Then he stopped the horse. We'll make way, move back. Just then, the cavalry team galloped past. Dust flew everywhere, obscuring the view. Pei Jun and Xiaoyu, who were outside, both had to cover their mouths and noses with their hands. At that moment, a voice suddenly called out, hey, Pei Jun, where's your master? It turned out to be the voice of Wei Su. He was on horseback in a suit of armor. Wei Su and Pei Jun now faced each other and suddenly froze. Then Pei Jun quickly bowed. Greetings, Master Wei. You have returned to the capital. Hearing this, Wei Su was stunned. Xiao Xing has returned to the capital. Why are you still here? Pei Jun replied. The young master has returned to the capital to handle official business. He ordered me to escort the family back to the capital. Wei Su heard this and sneered in surprise. Family. At this moment, Xiaoyu immediately closed the curtain. But then Wei Su unexpectedly came and pulled it open, causing Pei Jun to cry out in alarm. Don't. As for Wei Su, he barged into the carriage with a mocking attitude. Let me see Xiao Xing's secret concubine. At this moment, Xiaoyu was kneeling on the floor, her face dazed and dreamy as she looked at him, causing Wei Su to freeze, stunned by her beauty. At that very moment, Sanhu, holding a needle in her hand, stood in front of Xiaoyu and shouted loudly, You shameless madman, how can you be so rude? If you take another step closer to my young miss, don't blame me for being impolite. Then Wei Su also let go, and at that moment Pei Jun came before him with an angry expression and said, Young Master Wei, you truly have good upbringing. Wei Su not only did not feel he was wrong, but also had a very carefree attitude. In the past, no matter how I provoked you, you never got angry. Why are you so angry this time? Then he whispered into Pei Jun's ear, could it be that she is the one in your heart? A lowly merchant like you dares to have such fantasies, trying to climb high for a nobleman's daughter? At this moment, Pei Jun replied with a displeased face, This matter does not concern young Master Wei. Outside, the two young men were arguing, while inside the carriage, Sanhu sat next to Xiaoyu, looking even more frightened than Xiaoyu, and asked, That was so scary. Are you all right, young miss? Xiaoyu held Sanhu's hand tightly and said, I'm fine, don't worry. Then Sanhu became angry again. Master Pei is so useless. How could he let that madman come in here and scare you, young miss? What about your reputation? One would have thought Chunoyet would be angry, but she calmly brushed it off. We just met on the road. How can it be considered ruining my reputation? But Sanhu did not agree. That's not acceptable either. Then Xiaoyu said thoughtfully again, Besides, with that person's status, Pei Yin, even if he wanted to, couldn't stop him. Sanhu was puzzled. Why couldn't he stop him? What is that person's status? Xiaoyu rested her chin on her hand and speculated. If I'm not mistaken, that person is probably the son of the Jidushi of Yu province, Wei, born with a silver spoon in his mouth. Nominally, Wei Yin has over a dozen sons, but except for Wei Su, the others are all adopted. Wei Yin was nearly 40 years old when he had this only son. His mother is the Grand Princess Hangyang. He's been a dandy born with a silver spoon since childhood. Hearing this, Sanhu still did not feel scared but became even more annoyed. So what if he's the son of the Jidushi Wei? He still can't be so rude to you, young miss. Xiaoyu awkwardly explained. A Jidushi might not be a big deal. Then she peeked outside through the curtain, looking at Pei Yin standing guard in front of the carriage, and at Wei Su's imposing figure in his armor. Xiao Yu rejoiced inwardly. He is also the future emperor of the state of Wei. I can't believe I could meet two illustrious founding sage emperors in succession. It's just that their real personalities are completely different for what is recorded in the history books. Sanhu beside her suddenly covered her mouth. Young miss, what are you mumbling about? Only then did Xiao Yu panic and have to restrain herself. No, it's nothing. Right after that, Madame Chun came over in a panic. Bao, are you all right? Then Xiao Yu got out of the carriage from the back door with Madame Chun. Mother, I'm fine. Madame Chun hugged and stroked her head. It's good that you're fine. It's good that you're fine. At that moment, noticing Wei Su was staring intently at the two of them, Madame Chun said, "We are in a hurry to continue our journey. I hope Master Wei will not be so presumptuous." Wei Su just stood there, staring blankly at Xiao Yu. That gaze made Xiao Yu ponder as well. He thought to himself, looking at this situation, she is definitely not Xiao Xing's forbidden concubine, but probably a daughter of the Xiao family. How could I miss such a beauty? Then Wei Su took off his helmet, cupped his hands and bowed respectfully. I was too reckless just now, causing trouble for you, madam, and the young miss. I hope madam will not blame me. Madame Chun froze and turned back. Wei Su then gestured towards his guards and said, Madame Chun, my guard can chop firewood, carry water, and ride horses. They can do any heavy labor. Please feel free to command them. But Madame Chun immediately refused. We have our own servants for protection. We won't trouble Master Wei anymore. Suddenly Wei Su said something that was also true. They are all crude men. What if they bother you, madam, and the young miss again? Then I would have to be impolite to everyone again. The statement made Xiao Yu freeze. Then Wei Su led the mother and daughter back to the carriage. Please, madam. Madame Chun stepped up, her face showing no satisfaction at all, but she still replied, All right, farewell, Master Wei. The carriage procession started moving again. As they went, Wei Su was on horseback, but did not forget to mock Pei Yin. A child from a poor family should know his place. Don't have fantasies and try to climb high anymore. Pei Yin did not hesitate to reply. That is no concern of Master Wei. On the contrary, a dandy like you had better not have any ideas about the women of the Xiao family. The two of them just glared at each other. As for Madame Chun in the carriage, she muttered, So infuriating. They say the Jidushi Wei is a great hero guarding the north. How could he raise such a dandy? But Xiao Yu defended him. I don't think he's necessarily a dandy, mother. Not to mention the future achievements of Emperor Gaozu of Wei. Just based on his natural change in attitude just now, it can be seen that he is definitely not the hedonistic dandy of rumors. Hearing this, Madame Chun was alarmed. You like Wei Su? Is Master Pei not good enough? Xiao Yu forced a smile and replied, I don't like him. She thought to herself, after all, besides his great achievements, he is also famous for his romantic, amorous, and philandering nature. Then Madame Chun, with a serious face, trembled as she bent down to interrogate Xiao Yu. Then why did you speak up for him? I wasn't speaking up for him, Xiao Yu replied with a smile. I was just judging based on the situation. Madame Chun blinked and reminded her, You've been spoiled by your father. Then Mrs. Tran remembered, We are about to see your father. The carriage had now reached the capital with its tall, massive, and magnificent buildings. At the Xiao residence, inside the residence, a girl strode towards the hall. She wondered, They must have arrived, right? She is the legitimate daughter of Xiao Qing, Xiao Lin. Then a young man came and placed a hand on her shoulder, asking Lin, What's wrong? You look so restless and worried. This is also the legitimate son of Xiao Qing, Xiao Ju. Xiao Lin replied, It's nothing. I was just wondering when mother and 10th sister will return. But in reality, Xiao Ju already knew she was very worried. He gently patted Xiao Lin's head and comforted her. You don't need to worry. No matter what happens to mother and 10th sister, I will still take care of you. Xiao Lin, looking vulnerable, then nestled her head against him and said, As expected, you're still the one who treats me best. Under Xiao Ju's protection, who called her a silly girl, Xiao Lin wiped away the tears lingering at the corners of her eyes. But don't you overthink it. Mother and 10th sister are fine. Xiao Ju froze and asked, You haven't seen them. How do you know they're fine? Xiao Lin was stunned. It's because I'm a reincarnator. Xiao Lin thought back. It's true that in my past life, I didn't like Madame Chun and Xiao Yu, and I even bullied them often. But then I met a good-for-nothing and had to marry that philandering beast. That beast couldn't resist temptation, soon lost interest in me, and later tormented and humiliated me in every way possible. Only then did I think of Madame Chun and Xiao Yu. I went back and bowed my head before Madame Chun and Xiao Yu, yet they didn't hold the past against me and helped me. They ran to Shaolin's side. Before I died, I swore to make everyone who harmed me pay the price. But who would have thought that when I woke up, I had reincarnated back into the Xiao family? Suddenly, a voice called out, "Liner." She snapped back to reality, crossed her arms, and turned her face away. "It's nothing. In short, it's still better than those other two from our Xiao family." Xiao Ju forced a smile. Hum. Just then, a voice called from outside. "Brother, are you there?" Xiao Ju spoke up and asked, "Is that ninth sister?" Kumin. Although Shaolin was standing behind Xiao Ju, her gaze was still somewhat intense. It was the illegitimate daughter of Xiao Qing, Xiao Jiao, who entered to greet her brother and eldest sister. Xiao Ju immediately asked, "Ninth sister, what do you need me for?" Xiao Jiao presented the green sachet in her hand. "I embroidered a 5-venom sachet for you and eldest sister. Do you two think it's suitable?" Shaolin immediately showed her attitude. "Are you implying that I don't know how to embroider?" Hearing this, Xiao Jiao became flustered. "No, eldest sister, you've misunderstood me. I didn't say that. Shaolin clenched her fist again and questioned her, "Did I scold you or did I hit you?" Then she glared and yelled in Xiao Jiao's face. "And who are you putting on that gloomy face for all day?" Faced with Shaolin's terrifying demeanor, a panicked Xiao Jiao stammered, I. Standing behind, Xiao Ju tugged at Shaolin's sleeve, signaling her to stop, but Shaolin just scowled in annoyance. Xiao Ju had no choice but to shake his head. Then he put an arm around Xiao Jiao's shoulder and led her outside. "Your sister is not in a good mood today." Shaolin watched Xiao Jiao's tearful appearance, which made her remember. That's right, in her past life, 10th sister also said I suffered losses because I didn't care about scheming and didn't know how to control my emotions. But just looking at that face makes me want to go crazy, because she is the slut who seduced my husband in my past life. Xiao Jiao left with a sad expression. If there is nothing else, Xiao Jiao will take her leave. Then Xiao Ju said, "Mother and 10th sister should be arriving by now." Outside, the sun was shining in a clear blue sky. Under a pavilion, Xiao Yu's father, Xiao Qing, was waiting impatiently, sighing. "Why aren't they here yet?" Immediately after, a report was heard. "My lord, the escort convoy has arrived." Xiao Qing ran off with an excited face. The horse carriage had stopped. Xiao Qing approached and saw Madame Chun stepping down, calling out, "Wife." Madame Chun had a happy face, "Husband." The two came and held each other's hands tightly, affectionate and close. Xiao Qing asked, "Wife, was the journey all right?" Madame Chun smiled and replied, "Rest assured, husband, we were fine the entire way." Then the two chattered as they entered the residence. "Let's go home." "All right, let's go home." But they had forgotten that Xiao Yu was still in the carriage, like a puppy that had just been fed. "Have you two forgotten something?" At the residence of the Duke of Ji, the tall building was massive, the trees were lush green, and the grounds were spacious. In the main courtyard, Xiao Qing's grandmother, Grand Dowager Fan, was sitting before Madame Chui, attended by maids. Grand Dowager Fan, holding a cat, said, "Qing'er's wife has returned today." Xiao Qing's mother, Madame Chui, replied, "Yes, that's right." The Grand Dowager then frowned in annoyance. "Seeing Qing'er's wife just makes me angry. Just a hen that can't lay eggs." Then she turned to blame Madame Chui. "Qing'er is almost 40, and his heir is too weak. You're his mother, yet you don't know how to manage him." Madame Chui closed her eyes in resignation and said, "Qing'er is almost 40. He has his own way of thinking." Hearing what sounded like defiance, the Grand Dowager was speechless with anger. It made the cat in her arms bristle in fear and run away. The Grand Dowager frowned and said, "Forget it. You may not love your son, but I love my grandson. If Qing'er doesn't have a few more children, how can I face the old master?" Outside, Xiao Qing was walking in with Madame Chun when he suddenly let out a loud sneeze. Madame Chun was worried. "Husband, you've caught a cold." Xiao Qing's face was flushed, but he still said, "I'm fine." But Madame Chun held his hand tightly and said, "That won't do. A cold is no small matter. I'll have someone call for a physician." Just as she was about to leave, Xiao Qing pulled Madame Chun back, his voice intimate. "Wife, I'm really fine. I just missed you too much." Madame Chun was shy. "You're being so improper. A bow is still here." Xiao Qing said again, "It's fine. She can't hear us." because they thought they were standing far from Xiao Yu, but it turned out Xiao Yu was gnawing on a dog bone, laughing foolishly. Right. Then a voice suddenly called, Bao, come here. Xiao Qing walked over to her. Everyone get ready. In a moment, I'll take you all to meet the Grand Dowager and Mother. Xiao Yu asked naively, Father, will great-grandmother and grandmother like me? Hearing this, Xiao Qing sighed a little. He patted her head. My Bao is this cute. How can anyone not like you? The couple looked at each other with worried expressions. Then he reminded her, later, when we get to grandmother's place, you don't need to say anything. No matter what grandmother does to you, just try to endure it, okay? Madame Chun replied with a sorrowful look. Rest assured, husband, I will be filial to the elders. The three of them went to the Grand Dowager's place. Let's go in. Inside, a maid entered to announce, Grand Dowager, Master Xiao Qing has come to pay his respects. The Grand Dowager was surprised. Oh, then she thought to herself, I wanted to leave them alone for a few days, but I didn't expect Qinger to bring them here on his own initiative. Let them in, she said while stroking the cat in her arms. The maid replied, Yes, ma'am. Then Xiao Qing led Madame Chun and Xiao Yu inside. He performed the salutation. Xiao Qing pays his respects to grandmother, mother. The Grand Dowager immediately asked, Why have you come? It's not a festival day. Xiao Qing respectfully replied, A Chun and a Bao are in the capital for the first time. I was afraid they wouldn't understand the rules. If they do anything wrong, please don't mind me and just scold them. The Grand Dowager waved her hand. All right, come here. Xiao Yu replied, Thank you, Grand Dowager. Xiao Yu hesitated, doing something with her hands as she walked, which caught the attention of both the Grand Dowager and Madame Cui. Xiao Yu looked up and gave a bright smile. Greetings, grandmother. The Grand Dowager was a bit hesitant at first. Then she coughed hoarsely a few times and said, All right, this girl you wear is quite cute and well-behaved. Madame Cui let out a sigh of relief with a satisfied look, while Xiao Qing's face was full of joy. Grandmother, you praise her too much. I've also brought the children with me today. Xiao Ju, along with Xiao Lin and Xiao Jiu, walked in. Xiao Lin's eyes immediately fell on Madame Chun and Xiao Yu. I've finally met you. Her eyes suddenly welled up with tears. Mother, little sister. The six of them, Xiao Qing and his children, all stood before the Grand Dowager. Xiao Ju, Xiao Lin, and Xiao Jiu said in unison, Greetings, Grand Dowager, grandmother. At this moment, Xiao Lin closed her eyes, moved and emotional after seeing Madame Chun and her daughter. I've finally met everyone again. Mother, little sister. Madame Chun turned, saw her, and immediately asked Lin, what's wrong? Xiao Lin shook her head. Mother, I'm fine. She thought to herself, in this life, I will absolutely not make the same mistake again. Mother. As for Madame Chun, she trembled, her eyes welling with tears as she stammered, Mother? Then she walked over to Xiao Qing, speechless. Husband, Lin really called me mother. Xiao Qing calmed her down. Don't get so agitated. Then he turned to the Grand Dowager and said, Grandmother, they've been traveling for several days and are tired. Your child will take them back to rest first. The Grand Dowager, with a displeased frown, said, Go. Meanwhile, Madame Cui said to her daughter-in-law, Madame Chun, you go back and rest first. Later, I will take you children to meet the Duchess. Madame Chun smiled and replied yes. After they left, Madame Cui smiled. Quite clever. Seeing this, the Grand Dowager asked, It seems you quite like that, Madame Chun? She immediately replied, As long as Qinger likes her, it's fine. The Grand Dowager's face was full of calculation. I heard that Madame Chun is from a merchant family. Perhaps we can only talk things over with betrothal gifts. Hearing this, Madame Cui became a little hesitant. Elsewhere, Xiao Qing brought Xiao Yu and Madame Chun to their courtyard. You've all worked hard, wife Bao. He smiled affectionately at Xiao Yu. My Bao, father has decorated a very beautiful bedroom for you. Let father take you to see it. Xiao Yu calmly asked, There are only 2 rooms in this courtyard. Aren't Lin and ninth sister staying with us? Xiao Qing replied, Lin and ninth sister were raised by mother. I can't just have them move over from mother's place as soon as I'm back. Hearing this, Madame Chun also agreed, That's true. But Xiao Yu wondered further, Father, didn't you say that a daughter of the family can have her own courtyard once she turns 12? Why can't I stay with my older sisters? Xiao Qing was stunned when he heard this. His eyes welled up with emotion. Bower, don't you want to live with your parents? She immediately replied, I don't. Am I supposed to live here and watch the 2 of you being lovey-dovey all day, feeding on your public displays of affection every day? Then Xiao Qing said awkwardly, but your father is poor. I don't have the money to repair the inner courtyard for you. Seeing his act of being poor and miserable, Xiao Yu thought to herself, a local official who gets to go abroad can't be short of money. Father really doesn't know how to lie. Then Xiao Qing patted her head again. I can only let a Bao suffer a little and stay with me. Xiao Yu had no choice but to agree. All right then, she thought to herself, I'll have to endure their public displays of affection all by myself again. After speaking, Xiao Qing led Madame Chen away. I'll take your mother to visit the Duchess first. You can look around the room yourself. Yes. Then, Xiao Yu walked to the front of the room, touched the door, and opened it. Looking inside, the furniture was neatly arranged, with a stack of paper ready on the desk. She opened it and was pleased. Father is so thoughtful. Just then, a voice called out, Is the 10th young miss there? A middle-aged woman walked in. Xiao Yu was surprised. You are. The woman introduced herself. This old servant is Madame Xia, the eldest young master's wet nurse. Greetings to the 10th young miss. Xiao Yu quickly asked, There's no need for such formalities. May I ask why you are here? Madame Xia replied, The eldest young master sent me to invite the 10th young miss for a talk. Hearing this, Xiao Yu was surprised. My cousin? At this moment, Xiao Yu thought to herself, perhaps my cousin already knows what happened on the road. Then Madame Xia said, I will lead you there. Xiao Yu agreed to go immediately. All right, Madame Xia led Xiao Yu to a room with a red corridor, surrounded by green canopies. The eldest young master is in the study handling official business. The 10th young miss can go in by herself. Xiao Yu confidently walked up and knocked on the door. Xiao Xing, who was sitting in the room, spoke up, Come in. Xiao Yu opened the door, walked in, and greeted him, cousin. Xiao Xing said, I'm almost done with my approvals. Wait a moment. Xiao Yu also smiled and said yes. Then she sat to one side, looking a bit shy. Xiao Xing in history is indeed very handsome, but he's my cousin. I shouldn't have improper thoughts. At this moment, Xiao Xing noticed her. 10th sister, the carriage ride must have been tiring, right? She just smiled and replied, It was all right, just sitting in a carriage. Suddenly, he stopped his brush. I heard that Wei Su escorted you back. Seeing Xiao Xing say Wei Su's full name, Xiao Yu pondered, the ancients usually addressed each other by their style names, but my eldest cousin directly used Wei Su's full name. It seems what's recorded in history is not without basis. There might really be some conflict between Xiao Xing and Wei Su. As she thought, a sorrowful look appeared on her face, making Xiao Xing curious. He then guessed, It seems you were frightened by him. After saying that, his face darkened with anger, and he slammed his brush down on the table. Xiao Yu froze and called out, Eldest cousin, as he suddenly turned and rushed off somewhere. It turned out Xiao Xing had taken out a sword, his face furious and filled with killing intent. Don't be afraid. I'll go vent your anger for you right now. Xiao Yu, now panicked, stopped him, tugging at his sleeve. Wait. Eldest cousin, there's no need to trouble yourself. I wasn't frightened. Actually, young Master Wei didn't do anything to me. Hearing that, Xiao Xing calmed down a little. All right then, no need to bother with that rogue. Xiao Yu smiled, but she was remembering the image of Wei Su bursting through the curtain, his face gradually losing its humanity. A rogue. Wei Su's appearance now really does resemble that of a rogue. Seeing her laugh so heartily, Xiao Xing felt relieved. Then he changed the subject. The Autumn Wind Rhapsody I gave you. Were you able to imitate it? Hearing this, Xiao Yu became flustered again. I'm trying to imitate it, but I can't capture any of my cousin's spirit. But Xiao Xing said, You don't need to copy me. The way you're now is already very good. After speaking, he walked to the desk and took out a box containing a neatly rolled manuscript. This is a manuscript by Master Xia. I promised you that when you arrived in the capital, I would give it to you. Xiao Yu excitedly accepted it with thanks. Thank you very much, eldest cousin. Suddenly, Xiao Xing smiled and asked, How do you plan to thank me? Xiao Yu thought for a moment, then said, How about I make a pouch for you, cousin? As she spoke, she took out a sample pouch. The stitching was all crooked, the shape was wrinkled, and the drawing surpassed ancient aesthetics. Seeing Xiao Xing hesitate made Xiao Yu wonder. She awkwardly scratched her head. My embroidery skills aren't very good. Xiao Xing just stroked his chin and smiled. In that case, how about 10th sister writes a piece of calligraphy for me? Xiao Yu of course agreed immediately. All right, that's what I should do. Then she went to the door. Holding the box, she bowed her head in thanks. Thank you, eldest cousin. I'll have a maid bring it over to you in a few days. Suddenly, Xiao Xing asked again, You're not bringing it over yourself? Xiao Yu froze and replied, I'm afraid of bothering you, cousin. But she received a head pat from Xiao Xing. You silly girl. How could your visit possibly bother me? Just read the Autumn Wind Rhapsody. If you want to imitate my handwriting, I'll write another copy for you later. Hearing this, Xiao Yu thought to herself, to have Xiao Xing write a copy for me. Even his crown prince later on won't get such treatment. She said with sparkling eyes, You'll really write a sample for me? Then Xiao Xing turned to go inside and said, All right, let the wet nurse take you back. Remember to study hard. Xiao Yu looked excited. Yes, thank you, cousin. After he sat down on his chair, he added, Oh, right. I have a lot of snacks here. You can come over often whenever you have time. Xiao Yu smiled and replied yes. Then Madame Xia led her back. 10th young miss, I will escort you back. Walking with Madame Xia, Xiao Yu said, My cousin is busy with official duties. It must be hard for you, wet nurse, to take care of him. Madame Xia just smiled and replied, I'm old now, what's so hard about it? I just hope the young master can be happy every day. Young miss, please visit the young master often in the future. Xiao Yu also replied generously, I will definitely come next time. But in her heart, she was actually worried. Xiao Xing is so busy. How could I dare to bother him every day? A moment later, they arrived at Xiao Qing's separate courtyard with its tall and spacious building. Madame Xia escorted her to the door and bid farewell. This old servant will see you to here. The day after tomorrow, I will come to pick you up to see the eldest young master. Xiao Yu also replied very politely, Yes, goodbye, wet nurse. She took the box Xiao Xing had given her and placed it on the table. Then she stretched wearily. Living with the future emperor is not easy at all. Suddenly, a voice called out, A bow. It was Madame Chun. Xiao Yu was surprised, Mother. But Madame Chun didn't look happy. I heard your eldest cousin called you over. Madame Chun, with a serious face, tightly gripped both of Xiao Yu's wrists and questioned her. Why did your eldest cousin suddenly call for you? Did you do something wrong? It turned out she was worried that Xiao Yu had made a mistake. She patted her mother's hand. Mother, you're overthinking it. After speaking, Xiao Yu ran to get the calligraphy scroll. Eldest cousin just asked me about Wei Su, and he even gave me a manuscript by Master Xie. Hearing that, Madame Chun was overjoyed, so that's how it is. But since your eldest cousin gave you such a precious item, you must give something in return. What do you plan to give? Xiao Yu stroked her chin again, pondering, Let me think. How about I give eldest cousin a calligraphy painting? Madame Chen clapped her hands in approval. A calligraphy painting is a good idea. It's best to paint one for your eldest cousin. That's how you show sincerity. Then Xiao Yu rolled up the calligraphy scroll. Looking troubled, that won't work either. If I were to paint a Gongbi painting for eldest cousin, it would take at least a month. That's too long. While she was in a dilemma, her father Xiao Qing appeared from nowhere. Who does a Bao want to paint a picture for? Xiao Yu was surprised and called out father, as if wondering why he was there. Xiao Qing stroked his chin and asked, Did your eldest cousin give you this? She replied yes. Hearing that, Xiao Qing was delighted and patted her affectionately. Your eldest cousin has never given gifts to his other younger cousins before. It seems Xiao Qing likes you a lot. Madame Chen also couldn't hide her joy. Our Bao is so well liked by others. Xiao Yu said smugly, Eldest cousin is probably just taking better care of me. That's all. Father and mother are exaggerating. Let's not talk about this anymore. Father, mother, have you met with the eldest branch's madam? Madam Chen nodded. Although we didn't see the two elders of the eldest branch, we did meet the eldest branch's madam. Xiao Yu quickly asked, Did the eldest branch question you about anything? Madam Chun became pensive, her eyes a little troubled. No. Compared to the eldest branch, I feel that the grand madam is much more difficult to deal with. She then felt Xiao Qing's comforting hand on her shoulder. Don't worry, I definitely won't let grandmother make things difficult for you. Madam Chun was moved and called out, Husband, husband. The two were so intimate they seemed to glow. Xiao Yu had to hold up a reflective shield. I always feel like I'm the third wheel. Then Xiao Qing remembered. That's right. Your grandfather will be back before dinner. If he asks you about Wei Su, just say you were very scared at the time and don't remember anything. Xiao Yu calmly turned back and replied, I understand. Madame Chen noticed the unusual seriousness and asked Xiao Qing, Why so serious? Is something wrong? He suddenly sighed, his face full of sorrow and worry. I hope I'm just overthinking things. That night, the moon was high, and the dark night sky was full of stars. In a brightly lit room, the Xiao family was gathered around a large round table. Xiao Cheng, Xiao Qing's father. He tapped the table. Let's start eating. It's rare for the whole family to be together like this today. Everyone, there's no need to mind the rules. Xiao Yu and Xiao Lin, sitting next to each other, said in unison, Thank you, grandfather. Then, Xiao Lin picked up a piece of meat from in front of Xiao Yu and put it in her bowl. This dish is delicious. You should eat more. Xiao Yu smiled. Thank you, Sister Lin. Without stopping, Xiao Lin continued to pick up more from other dishes. This one is also delicious. Try this one too. Yes, yes. causing Xiao Yu's bowl to become piled high. You just arrived in the capital today, so you should eat a little more. Xiao Yu stared, stunned, at the wobbly, overflowing bowl but still smiled and thanked Sister Lin. Seeing Xiao Lin beaming at her, she thought to herself, Sister Lin is way too enthusiastic. Then Xiao Chang spoke up, 10th young miss, you must be tired from the journey. Xiao Yu replied, not at all. After speaking, Xiao Chang hinted, for our first meeting, my wife and I have prepared a few gifts for you. At this moment, two maids carrying 2 trays of some sort approached, stopping near Xiao Yu. Looking at the trays with precious jewelry, Xiao Yu was surprised. What is this? Madame Cui immediately said, this is a ruby jewelry set. Each of you 3 sisters gets one. I have already given one to a Lin and a Jiao. Hearing this, Xiao Yu stood up and bowed. Thank you, grandmother. Madame Cui said, no need for formalities. Go ahead and open the other one. Xiao Yu, looking curious, opened a remaining box and suddenly froze. This is a deed? When Xiao Yu blurted out a deed, both Xiao Lin and Xiao Jiao turned to look in surprise. Xiao Chang stroked his beard and said, this is the deed to one of our Xiao family shops. From now on, that shop will be under Yuer's management. At this, Xiao Yu was stunned, holding the deed in her hand. Xiao Lin thought to herself, Yuer is truly formidable. Even grandfather values her so much. While Xiao Jiao thought to herself, the legitimate daughter is so favored, I really must try even harder. Xiao Qing spoke up. Father, she is still just a child. Why would you entrust something so valuable to Bauer? Xiao Cheng replied, I've heard that Xiao Shi is very intelligent, so I'll let her try her hand at business to see how she does. Xiao Qing's expression was still hesitant, but before he could finish, Xiao Cheng interrupted. I have already decided. Let's eat. Xiao Qing could only reluctantly agree, while Madame Chen also looked worried, but dared not say anything more. Later, the father and his children left. Walking beside him, Madame Chen spoke up. Isn't it a good thing that father gave the shop to Bauer? Why are you so worried? Xiao Qing said ruefully. I'm worried that father will arbitrarily decide Bauer's marriage. Hearing this, Madame Chen suddenly realized and became alarmed. Elsewhere, Xiao Cheng stood on high ground, watching the father and children depart. There was a sound from behind. Madame Cui came to his side. You sly old fox, what are you scheming now? But he just smiled. Nothing. Then she questioned him again. Nothing. Yet you gave that shop to 10th lass? Xiao Cheng stroked his beard with a calculating look. This is a test for the girl. Madame Cui was surprised. A test? Xiao Cheng smiled. I gave that shop to Xiao Shi because I want to see what she will do. If she's like her 2 older sisters, I will find her a kind man from a noble family. He walked away, but Madame Cui was still hesitant. But 10th lass is so talented and beautiful. How could a kind but useless man possibly protect her? Xiao Cheng said again. Kind does not mean useless. Then he put on a smug look. In the beginning, didn't you also think I was a simple man content with his lot? Madame Cui sighed with disdain. You sly old fox, but how many people are there like you? Then Xiao Cheng calmly gazed into the distance. Actually, there's one more option. This made Madame Cui ask in surprise. What is it? Xiao Cheng then recounted. Previously, eldest brother came to ask me if a Lin's marriage had been decided. At this, Madame Cui suddenly remembered. I heard the crown princess is gravely ill. Does eldest brother want to send Xiao Shi to the palace? Xiao Cheng replied, not to the palace, but Wei Su came to ask for her hand in marriage. The words struck like a bolt from the blue, and Madame Cui shrieked in shock. What? Surely not? How can we let Xiao Shi marry that dandy from the Wei family? That's pushing her into a fiery pit. But Xiao Cheng said, Wei Su is not as wicked as outsiders say. Then he placed a hand on her shoulder to reassure her. Rest assured, Wei Su is just young and impulsive, but his character is very good. Madame Cui still looked unconvinced. Even if Wei Su's character is truly not bad, we still can't marry Xiao Shi to him. Wei Su's birth mother is the cruel Princess Xingyang. What if Xiao Shi doesn't please her? What good would it do then? Hearing his wife's strong opposition, Xiao Cheng sighed. Very well, let's not speak of this for now. He pulled her into his arms. The younger generation has its own destiny. The children will know how to choose for themselves. The next day, Xiao Yu was in the courtyard practicing martial arts, dressed in men's clothing, her hair tied up neatly, her fists clenched. From a distance, Madame Chen watched and wondered, of all the things you could teach our daughter, you teach her martial arts? Xiao Qing replied, how can my daughter be weak? Then he shouted his support. Bauer, keep that punch strong. Yes, that's it, Madam Chen muttered. It's a good thing she still has a girl's face. Otherwise, I'd worry she'd never get married. Just then, a maid came to report, Sir, Madam Chui invites you to go pay respects to the matriarch. Madam Chun spoke up. Paying respects to the matriarch cannot be done carelessly. Let's go. Bao Ia. Xiao heard and stopped, yes. But Xiao Qing interrupted. Wait a moment, my wife. Seeing him freeze, Madam Chun was surprised. What are you hesitating for? Xiao Qing stammered. Later, grandmother might introduce a concubine for me. When that happens, please try to bear with it. Hearing this, Madam Chun was stunned. What? After hearing what Xiao Qing said, Madam Chun was utterly shocked. She could only exclaim, a concubine? Then she reluctantly accepted. If grandmother has sent someone, then you should just accept her. Xiao Yu was extremely awkward at this moment. Mother. Madam Chun covered her face with one hand, saddened. After all these years, I still haven't been able to give you a son, so. Seeing this, Xiao Qing panicked. My dear, my wife, are you really willing to push me to another woman? Although Madam Chun didn't want to, she couldn't stop it, but then Xiao Qing came and hugged her. I was just teasing you. It's not like I don't have a son. What's the use of her forcing a concubine on me? Madam Chun replied coquettishly, I'm just worried that Bauer won't have a full brother, and later no one will look after her. Then Xiao Qing smiled and said, how about we make a bet? His wife asked, bet on what? He looked over at the bewildered Xiao Yu. Let's bet that in the future, a Bao won't need anyone to look after her, and moreover, her achievements will far surpass her two older brothers. Madam Chun interrupted, no one praises their daughter like you do. After all, she is our child. The two of them started being affectionate and lovey-dovey again, my wife, my husband. At this point, Xiao Yu felt like she should put on sunglasses to spare her eyes and faked a cough to get their attention. After that, the two of them finally came to their senses. Xiao Yu gave a forced smile and reminded them, we should probably get going. Xiao Qing then gave a forced smile to smooth things over. Bauer is right. Let's go now. Later, the three of them arrived at the matriarch's private courtyard. As soon as a maid opened the door, Xiao Qing spoke up. Qinger pays his respects to grandmother. The maid said, Madam Chui is helping the matriarch wash her face and rinse her mouth. You may wait inside. In the room, the towel had been washed. Xiao Qing came forward to bow. Greetings, grandmother. At that moment, Madam Chui was using a towel to wipe the matriarch's face. Seeing this, Madam Chun intended to step up and help. Let me serve the matriarch and wash her face. But the matriarch immediately flung the towel away, shouting loudly, I don't need you to wipe me. Leaving Madam Chun saddened. Then she said angrily, if you have the free time to come pay respects, you might as well think of a way to give birth to a son. You and a Qing have been married for so many years, and you can't even lay an egg. So what use are you? Madam Chun could only lower her head and tremble, and Xiao Qing didn't dare to stand up for his wife. Madam Chui could only remain silent. Xiao Yu, feeling as if an eggshell had been cracked on her head, wondered to herself, if she can't even lay an egg, then what am I? Madam Chui spoke up tactfully, Mother, but was immediately shouted at as well. Don't you lecture me. Then she even pointed her finger at Madam Chui's face. I just want a great-grandson. It's one thing that you don't lay eggs, but are you also going to stop me from wanting a great-grandson? At this moment, Xiao Yu looked over at Xiao Qing, who also had an imaginary eggshell on his head. All right, she thought, it's not just me. Father isn't an egg either. Then the matriarch commanded, come in, all of you. A voice from somewhere replied, yes. Madam Chun stood to one side, bewildered. Right after the yes, a line of maids entered one by one. The one in the lead had clenched fists and bulging muscles. This humble girl pays her respects, matriarch. The four of them were all stunned. Xiao Yu was choked, speechless. What are these people here for? Surely the matriarch doesn't intend to silence us by murder. Only the matriarch looked excited. I carefully selected all four of them. They are all healthy girls, suitable for childbirth. Qinger, take these four back with you. I hope they will bear heirs soon. Hearing this, Xiao Qing nearly coughed up blood. Xiao Yu thought in horror, these people are actually going to be father's concubines? Father won't faint to death, will he? She thought, looking at him with pity. The matriarch, after a moment of reflection, ordered, all right, you all may leave. I have to listen to the Taoist priestess chant scriptures in a bit. After that, they left. Madam Chen followed, looking exhausted. All three of them returned dejectedly. Madam Chun suddenly spoke up. Husband. She pointed to the four muscular maids from before who were standing in a line with their arms crossed, waiting. How do you plan to handle these four girls? Xiao Qing was in a difficult position and said a bow. He took her hand. With a fawning expression, as it happens, Bauer is short on maids. Let these 4 be your bodyguards. At the Xiao residence, sunlight shone on the roof tiles. Xiao Qing and Madame Chun held hands tightly, calling each other intimately, "Husband, my wife. I have to go to the early court session soon. It's just that with this farewell, I don't know when we'll see each other again." Madame Chin's call of husband was filled with intense longing. Seeing this, Xiao Yu, standing nearby, could only give a forced smile and think to herself, it's just an early court session. Just then, Madame Chui appeared from nowhere, looking annoyed, and suddenly kicked Xiao Qing aside. "Your father has been waiting for you outside for a while now. Hurry up and get out here for this old lady." Seeing this, Madame Chun was horrified. "Husband," while Xiao Yu, as if an eyesore had been removed, was very pleased with Madame Chui. "Well done, grandmother." Suddenly there was a call. Madame Chui reminded her, "Don't learn from your mother. A husband and the authority to manage the inner courtyard are the foundation of a woman's standing. Never be like that, giving up without even putting up a fight." After hearing this, Xiao Yu quickly replied, "Yes." Just then, Madame Chun came over, hugged Xiao Yu, and replied, "Mother, Xiao Yu is still young. Please don't say such things to her." Madame Chui could only sigh at Madame Chen's naivety. As they were standing in the middle of the spacious courtyard, under the tall green trees from a distance, Xiao Lin approached with Xiao Jiao and cheerfully called out, "Grandmother, mother, 10th sister, good morning." In contrast, Xiao Jiao, walking behind, looked on with disdain and thought to herself, "Coming to grandmother's place at the crack of dawn to curry favor. This won't do. Tomorrow I must have someone wake me up too." Seeing Xiao Lin, Xiao Yu also happily ran over to greet them. "Sister Lin, Sister Jiao." Xiao Jiao, standing behind and watching the two of them being so close, felt resentful. "This won't do. I must also build a relationship with mother and 10th sister." She quickly changed her expression to a friendly one and approached to start a conversation. "10th sister, I." Before she could finish, Xiao Lin shot her a murderous glare. Xiao Lin quickly cut her off and put her arm around Xiao Yu's shoulder, walking away. "10th sister, you've just arrived and don't have much to do, right? Come to class with me." Although taken aback, Xiao Yu replied, "Yes," and followed, not forgetting to ask Madame Chun for permission. "Mother, can I go to class with my sister?" Madame Chun smiled and replied, "Go ahead as long as you like it." Then, Xiao Lin led Xiao Yu away. "Let's go." As Xiao Yu replied yes with great enthusiasm, Xiao Jiao, who was about to be left behind, spoke up. "Wait, I'm coming too." As soon as she finished speaking, several maids who were just hired yesterday suddenly ran over. Tall and burly, they smiled and waved as they ran past her. Xiao Yu watched them leave, bewildered. Who are these people? Why are they going together? On the other side, Madame Chui saw Madame Chun still smiling naively. She suddenly placed a hand on her shoulder. "Since you have nothing to do today, come with me and learn how to manage the account books." Hearing this, Madame Chun was a bit flustered. Yes, in the study that morning, the teacher for the elementary class of the Xiao family, Teacher Lu, was sitting at his desk, staring intently at an account book. He thought ruefully, "That's right, it seems a new student is coming soon. I heard it's the 3rd young master of the Xiao family, a child personally taught by Xiao Qing, to be taught by his own father. He must be a child who's been spoiled since birth, right? Last time, I was criticized just for being a little strict." The thought of having to bow and scrape as a teacher just for being strict made Teacher Lu frustrated again. "If I'm a little strict, I get scolded. If I'm not strict, they learn nothing. I'm so tired of this." At that moment, the 3 sisters led by Xiao Lin arrived. Seeing Xiao Yu, Teacher Lu froze. "This is..." Xiao Yu quickly greeted him. "Greetings, teacher." Teacher Lu looked as if his soul had been stolen. Without thinking, he ran over and grabbed Xiao Yu's hand. "Please marry me." As soon as he said it, Xiao Lin, standing beside them, was aghast, her jaw dropping, while Xiao Yu was confused, not understanding what was happening. "Huh?" Immediately after, Xiao Lin lunged like a fierce tiger, growling at Teacher Lu, causing him to stammer, No, that's not it. Everyone listen to me. It was just a joke. I was just joking." Later, after they had gotten acquainted, Teacher Lu sat at the desk with a friendly expression. "10th mistress, have you ever read the classic of poetry? Do you know how to write?" Xiao Yu replied, "I have read 1 volume of the classic of poetry, and I can write a few characters." Hearing this, Teacher Lu gave her a blank sheet of paper and a brush. Then, "10th mistress, could you write the poem Nanshan Yu Tai?" Xiao Yu did not hesitate and agreed immediately. "All right." She began to grind the ink and dip the brush in it. A moment later, Neat rows of characters were written on the white paper. Teacher, please take a look. Teacher Lu held the paper and observed it intently, thinking to himself. Xiaoxing was a famous talent back then. A child taught by him couldn't possibly be bad. But then he froze. This is, just by looking at the 10th mistress's handwriting, I already know that I am not qualified to teach you. He thought to himself, for the 10th sister to be able to write so beautifully, it's clear that Xiaoqing has put a lot of effort into teaching her. If he could devote so much effort to teaching even calligraphy, he certainly wouldn't have been negligent in other areas of her studies. Xiaoyu smiled and replied, I just spent more time practicing my writing. In terms of academics, I have only read a few primers and am still far behind you. Teacher, I still hope that you will not hold back and will guide me more. Hearing this, Teacher Lu was a bit embarrassed. He paused for a moment, thinking, this is the first time I've received such respect here. Then he said, if the 10th mistress has already studied the classics, then tomorrow I will teach you the Book of Documents. Later, Madame Shui and Madame Chun arrived at the study. They saw Xiao Lin and Xiao Jiu asleep, slumped over the table. Madame Chun asked, what happened? Weren't you supposed to be in class? Only Xiao Yu was still standing, and she replied, yes, today's lesson was a bit much. Seeing this, Madame Chui reminded them, don't feel that studying is hard. Wait until you are married off, then you will realize that the days you get to study are the most carefree. Let the children rest here. Let's go prepare lunch. Hearing this, Xiao Jiu suddenly shot up. I want to help too. Then came Xiao Lin. I want as well. The two of them actually disliked each other, but they still had to pretend to be friendly. Xiao Lin, with a sarcastic tone and a forced smile, said, how could I possibly trouble my dear younger sister with such a small matter? If you're tired, just go rest. Let your big sister handle things like this. Xiao Jiu did not hesitate to retort, it is you, elder sister, who needs to rest. You're older, your health might not be able to take it. A small matter like this should be left to me. At this moment, the atmosphere suddenly turned gloomy. Xiao Yu stood outside, wondering, why is the smell of gunpowder so thick between these two? In a large room with a big round table, Xiao Jiu was arranging the dishes. Grandmother, mother, I have set all the food on the table. Xiao Lin, not to be outdone, set out both the plates and chopsticks. Grandmother, mother, I have prepared the bowls and chopsticks. As soon as Madame Chui stepped out, Xiao Jiu quickly invited her. Grandmother, please have a seat. Seeing this, Xiao Lin was stunned, then forced a smile. Mother, this way, please have a seat. Madame Chen covered her mouth and replied kindly, 8th mistress is so thoughtful. Seeing the two of them competing in politeness, Madame Chui's heart warmed. The children have all grown up. I can worry less now. Madame Chun was also delighted. That's right. Meanwhile, Xiao Yu on the outside smiled, but inwardly she was speculating. Is that really the case? It's not convenient for me to say anything. Just then, a maid opened the door and entered. While Madame Chui was saying, you children, don't just stand there, hurry and sit down, the maid reported, Madam, Chief Steward Lu from Princess Xingyang's residence is here. Madame qui soudain li froze. Princess Xingyang's residence. Could it be about Wei Su's matter from before? Then she stood up to leave immediately. You children go ahead and eat first. I'll go meet them. Madame Chun, you come with me too. Madame Chun also stood up to follow. Yes, mother. Arriving at the reception hall, Chief Steward Lu was already seated and waiting, drinking tea. Madame Kui Wolktin, Chief Steward Lu. He also quickly stood up respectfully. I've taken the liberty of visiting and disturbed your afternoon rest, madam. It's all because that little rascal of mine kept urging me. Madame Chui replied politely, Chief Steward Lu rarely goes out. We couldn't even get you to come if we invited you. So how could this be considered a disturbance? Then she introduced Madame Chun. This is A Chun, A Qing's wife. Madame Chun respectfully greeted Chief Steward Lu. Then Madame Chui invited him to sit. Let's not stand. It's inconvenient to talk. Let's sit down first. How has the princess been lately? Chief Steward Lu replied, the princess is well. A few days ago, she mentioned to me that the flowers in the residence are blooming beautifully lately, so she wants to host a flower viewing banquet. Hearing this, Madame Chui immediately replied, the princess's residence has countless rare and fragrant flowers. If she is hosting a flower viewing banquet, we would be greatly blessed to be able to admire them. Hearing this, Chief Steward Lu seemed to see an opportunity and smiled, suggesting, if that's the case, would Madame Chui and Madame Chun like to come to our humble residence to admire the flowers? Madame Chui did not hesitate to agree. It would be a great honor. But Madame Chun, at her side, seemed pensive. After speaking, Chief Steward Lu stood up immediately. That's wonderful then. I see it's getting late, and I'm afraid of disturbing your afternoon rest further. I shall take my leave now. He clapped his hands as a signal. Our young master has offended you many times in the past. This is a small gift as an apology. Please accept it. 2 palace maids entered, carrying bolts of fabric. These fabrics were specially prepared by the princess for the young ladies of your residence. The princess said that she is old now and cannot wear brightly colored clothes, so she enjoys watching the young ladies wear them. Madame Chui hesitated for a moment, but then did not refuse and expressed her thanks. Then, on behalf of the girls of my family, I thank the princess. Please also send my regards to the princess. Chief Steward Lu only replied, I certainly will. Then he turned and left. Madame Chun, watching him leave with Madame Chui, showed her worry. Mother, do we really have to go to the flower viewing banquet? But Madame Chui didn't hesitate, walking away and saying, we're going. Why wouldn't we go? The young ladies of our family have been raised to be so outstanding. It's only right that we let everyone know. Hearing this, Madame Chen couldn't hide her anxiety and said in a panic, but what if the young master of the Wei family? Madame Chui just replied calmly, the young ladies of our family are born outstanding. It's normal for a young master to take a liking to them, but marriage requires the consent of both parties. The Wei family won't go so far as to force us. Hearing this, Madame Chen froze. Outside, Chief Steward Lu had just stepped down from his carriage. Suddenly, a voice called from a distance, Egu, you're back. The young master, dressed in red, walked down from the main hall. Egu, is the 10th mistress well? She wasn't frightened, was she? Chief Steward Lu smiled and replied, you jest, young master. The 10th mistress is a noble young lady raised in the inner chambers. How could I meet her so casually? Hearing this, the young master turned away with a look of regret. Is that so? So you didn't get to see the 10th mistress either, Egu? Chief Steward Lu said, there's no need to rush, young master. Madame Chui has already agreed to attend the princess's flower viewing banquet. When the time comes, you will be able to meet the 10th mistress. Hearing this, Wei Su looked as if he had struck gold. His face lit up with excitement as he asked again, really? Then he turned and ran off. Seeing this, Chief Steward Lu wondered and shouted, young master, where are you going? Wei Su, beaming with joy, replied, I'm going out for a horse ride to calm myself down. The chief steward didn't forget to remind him, my lord, please remember to come back early so as not to worry the princess. But Wei Su just kept running, only shouting back, don't worry, I know. Seeing Wei Su's gleeful appearance, the chief steward scratched his head and smiled. I never expected this child to have his first crush like this. Even I'm looking forward to meeting that person. At Princess Xingyang's residence, in the middle was a large lotus pond. Surrounding it were rows of stately buildings with many servants. The madams for various residences had arrived early to pay their respects. I have long heard that the princess's residence has countless fragrant flowers and exotic plants. To be invited by the princess today, I am truly grateful. The princess was seated in the lotus pavilion, holding a round fan. Greetings, Princess Xingyang. Princess Xingyang smiled. Madam Gu, you are too flattering. The most important thing is that everyone is happy. If the reception is not up to par, I hope everyone will forgive me. But suddenly, everyone's attention was drawn to 3 people approaching from a distance. That girl is so beautiful. It was Xiao Yu, arriving with Madame Chui and Madame Chen. It seems she's the daughter of the Xiao family who just returned to the capital not long ago. Her name is Xiao Yu, right? Can someone so beautiful really exist in this world? The 3 of them arrived and immediately paid their respects. We greet Princess Xingyang. Princess Xingyang said at once, no need for excessive ceremony. Please rise. The princess stared intently at Xiao Yu. Covering her mouth with a fan, she thought to herself, so that's the person Asu longs for every night? Her appearance is indeed outstanding. Her temperament is also very calm and steady. She seems to be a relatively gentle type, very suitable to become the young madam of the Wei family. Then she spoke aloud. Since you've arrived, feel free to look around. Xiao Yu replied respectfully, yes, we shall take our leave first. After speaking, the 3 of them departed. The princess watched their retreating figures and gave an order. Chief Stewardess Lu, my husband will arrive in the capital in a few days. The preparations are almost complete. We can act tonight. Remember, The operation must be clean and neat, leaving no traces. Chief Stewardess Lu replied, "Yes, understood." At Xiaoqing's private courtyard, he was very excited to return to his wife after the morning court session. He called out loudly from outside, "My lady Abao, we're back." He ran over and took Madame Chen's hand. "This trip must have been hard on you. You weren't bullied by others, were you?" Madame Chen, in a gentle voice, said, "Everyone was very good to me." But Xiao Yu looked annoyed. "Have father and mother forgotten something? Your adorable Bao is still here." After saying that, she thought she would get some attention, but unexpectedly, her parents' affection for each other only grew stronger. Xiao Yu couldn't stand it and had to retreat. "I'm tired. I want to bed first." Late at night, as Xiao Yu was sound asleep in her bed, suddenly, the door swung open. Xiao Yu quickly sat up. Someone opened the door. "Who is it?" At this late hour, before she could finish her sentence, a masked person appeared. Xiao Yu screamed in panic. "Who are you? Why are you here?" Amidst her terrified screams, the person covered her face and drugged her. For a moment, Xiao Yu still tried to struggle, but then her eyes gradually closed. Her hand went limp. A moment later, Xiao Yu was in a prison cell, lying on the cold, stone floor. From outside came a frantic call. "10th mistress, 10th mistress, Xiao Yu," from Wei Su. Then Xiao Yu also woke up, her head slightly dizzy. "Wei Su, why are you here?" Seeing her awake, Wei Su breathed a sigh of relief. "That's great, you're all right." But Xiao Yu was surprised. "Where is this? Why am I here?" Wei Su stood outside, his hands gripping the bars tightly. "This is the Wei family's secret dungeon. Because we need to maintain secrecy, you are temporarily locked up here. But rest assured, during the preparation period, I will definitely have my subordinates take good care of you." Xiao Yu was stunned. "Preparation? Preparation for what? Why me?" Wei Su said sorrowfully, "His Majesty is preparing to issue an edict to marry the princess to me. This will destroy a large part of the Wei family's power. Therefore, I must marry early to escape the emperor's control. Only in this way can the Wei family's power be preserved to the greatest extent possible." Hearing this, Xiao Yu covered her mouth in shock. "Is this a plot to overthrow the court? Are you all insane?" She thought back. If I remember correctly, Xiao Xing should have ascended the throne before Wei Su. Could it be that my transmigration has led to a change in history? But Wei Su extended his hand to her. "Rest assured, the current commander of the Imperial Guard is Su Guangda. He is nothing but a good-for-nothing." He sat down on the floor and spoke. "We just need to wait until the Emperor's confidant, the Grand Commandant of the Imperial Guard, Xiao Xing, leaves the capital to suppress the rebellion between the water pirates and the officials in Jiangnan. Our army, which has been prepared in advance in Yuzhou, will advance into the capital. At that time, the entire capital and even this entire court will be our world." Xiao Yu froze. Eldest cousin has been sent to suppress the rebellion in Jiangnan. In history, Xiao Xing will eventually die on the battlefield, but that was after he ascended the throne. Indeed, my transmigration has caused a butterfly effect, leading to a change in history. Seeing her stunned expression, Wei Su reassured her. "Don't worry, after we are married, I will definitely treat you well. Although we are getting married this time, you will be given a false identity and cannot show your face to others. Wait until after I have conquered the world. I will definitely let you stand before everyone with your original identity. We will hold an even grander wedding ceremony." But Xiao Yu looked sorrowful and sad. "Then what about my father and mother? They don't know my current situation, so they must be very worried right now." At this moment, Wei Su stood up and moved closer to the bars, speaking in a sincere voice. "Just endure it for a little while. Once I've conquered the world, Madame Cui, Xiao Qing, Madame Chun, and Xiao Lin, those who treated you well, I will definitely not mistreat them. As for the Grand Madam and Xiao Jiao, those who treated you poorly, I will also take care of them all. I will absolutely never let you suffer any grievances." Then Xiao Yu gripped the bars with both hands and forced herself to ask. The premise of this entire plan is that eldest cousin will be lured to Jiangnan. Once eldest cousin realizes something is wrong, all your plans will fail. At this, Wei Su had already turned his back and just sneered. Rest assured, the rebellion in Jiangnan is real. If he has to choose between personal interests and the interests of the people, he will absolutely choose the latter. Elsewhere, outside Xiao Xing's study, a man ran up to report. "Please let me in," but he was stopped by the guards. "This is a place for official business. No entry without authorization." He had no choice but to take out a letter. I have an urgent secret report that must be delivered to the Grand Commandant of the Imperial Guard. After that, he was allowed inside to report. Xiao Xing was seated in his place, holding the letter in his hand. Water pirates in Jiangnan are suddenly causing a disturbance? He hesitated, thinking to himself, why at this time? The subordinate then stood up. The officials in Jiangnan are incompetent, allowing the water pirates to run rampant, causing the people to suffer. An official beside him spoke up, Grand Commandant, we cannot just ignore this. Hearing this, Xiao Xing just gave a sneer. Then, with an angry face, he slammed the letter down on the table. This trip to Jiangnan, after suppressing the water pirates, I will also take the opportunity to rectify the officialdom in Jiangnan. Prepare to depart. We leave immediately tonight. After that, the officials left one by one. Xiao Xing then ordered a subordinate. Come here. Yes, sir. The subordinate appeared immediately. Master, the shadow guard whispered to him. Reporting to Master, your subordinate noticed something unusual in the 10th mistress's room. Upon checking the situation, I discovered that the 10th mistress has disappeared. Hearing this, Xiao Xing was stunned. What did you say? In a room adorned for a wedding celebration. Xiao Yu sat before a mirror in her wedding attire as Chief Stewardess Lu prepared her. While combing her hair, she said, although outsiders always spread rumors that the Wei family's son is a philanderer, those are actually all fabrications. That child is kinder than anyone, and this is the first time he has truly been moved by another woman. 10th mistress, rest assured, after the marriage, he will surely treat you well. She then handed Xiao Yu a lip tint. If you suffer any grievances in the future, you can also tell me. No matter what, he will still listen to what this old nanny of his has to say. All done. Xiao Yu looked at her gloomy face in the mirror. The makeup is much more beautiful. The 10th mistress was already beautiful to begin with. Now you are more beautiful than ever. But Xiao Yu only said sadly, what a pity no one can see this beautiful makeup. Chief Stewardess Lu quickly comforted her. You can't say that. Marriage is a major event in a woman's life, so it's only right to be a little more beautiful. Then Xiao Yu lamented, I can only use a false identity. Those close to me cannot know, and there is no way for them to know. It's announced publicly, yet no one is allowed to attend. You want to be ostentatious, yet you're afraid of being exposed. She sneered, a major event in my life? Indeed. Then she turned sharply and asked, Chief Stewardess Lu, tell me, who is getting married, and who am I supposed to be? Chief Stewardess Lu looked embarrassed. 10th mistress. Seeing this, Xiao Yu didn't press further and stood up to leave. Let's go. Such an important event in my life cannot be delayed. Let's set off. In front of the prince's residence, the outside was draped with red cloth. Xiao Yu, with a veil over her head, was led forward. You're here. Wei Su, in his wedding attire, was already waiting and took her hand. You've suffered on the way here. Here, give me your hand. Xiao Yu only replied coldly, thank you. At that very moment, Madame Chun, who was being blocked outside, was shouting, you all, give me back my daughter. Do not harm her. She screamed angrily. After the flower viewing banquet that day, Yue disappeared. It must be related to you people. Give me back my daughter. Xiao Yu, who was walking inside with Wei Su, recognized her mother's voice. Outside, Madame Chun struggled, shouting with tears in her eyes, Wei Su, do you feel no shame towards Yue? You just acted so warm and attentive, and then you go and find someone else to marry. You heartless man. At the same time, Xiao Qing ran over. My lady. He supported Madame Chun and calmed her down. Calm down. We don't have any evidence. Don't speak recklessly. Madame Chun was still heartbroken and tearful. But, only then did Xiao Yu truly realize. Father is here too. Mother, father. But then she calmed herself down. No, I can't. Xiao Yu, you must calm down. Acting recklessly will only harm everyone. I must control myself. Just then, Xiao Qing spoke up. My apologies for bothering you, young Master Wei. My wife has offended you. Please forgive her. Wei Su, who was standing with Xiao Yu, simply replied, it's all right. I'm also heartbroken that the 10th mistress has gone missing. I hope Madame can pull herself together. Although I don't want to make this wedding too ostentatious. If it's you, I can make an exception and invite you to attend. Xiao Qing then replied sorrowfully, thank you for young Master Wei's kind intentions, but we still have things to do, so we won't bother you any longer. After that, he led Madame Chen away. Are you all right? Can you walk? Madame Chen replied emotionally, I'm fine. But they didn't know that behind them, Xiao Yu was reaching out her hand. That's right, father doesn't know that I am Xiao Yu, so he can't attend this wedding. Then came an announcement. The wedding will proceed. Continue the music. A magnificent bridal sedan was waiting. Suddenly, a voice called out, Wei Su, oh Wei Su, causing both of them to turn their heads. It was Xiao Xing who appeared. He had defeated the gate guards and came forward to speak, instigating riots in Jiangnan, secretly moving a large number of troops in Yuzhou outside the capital, plotting treason. Xiao Xing held a sword, his face glaring. In a situation like this, you still have time to get married? Wei Su was surprised. Xiao Xing, impossible. You should be in Jiangnan right now, shouldn't you? Then he also drew his sword and shouted, You're speaking nonsense to confuse people. Today, you'll die here. As he charged forward, he thought to himself, It's fine. As long as I deal with him here, I can later blame the officials in Jiangnan. Xiao Xing also fought him one-on-one. After a while, the sword was knocked from his hand. Looking at Wei Su's weak appearance, Xiao Xing sighed. You still haven't improved at all. Wei Su. Suddenly, a group of guards appeared from nowhere. Xiao Xing, drop your weapon. You are surrounded. Above in the main hall, the head of the Wei family and the princess stood and gave orders. I didn't expect you to give up on Jiangnan and deliberately stay behind. Very well. In any case, you won't be leaving here alive. As soon as the words were spoken, a voice came from inside the sedan. The ones who won't be leaving here alive are you. Behind them were the imperial troops. At this moment, old Master Wei and the princess exclaimed in panic, Is it the emperor? The emperor did not show his face, but only gave an order. Wei Yin and the others intended to rebel. The evidence is clear. Arrest them all for me. The soldiers acknowledged the order. Yes, sir. At this point, Xiao Yu removed her veil. Xiao Xing ran to her side. I'm sorry, I'm Lotta. Suddenly, she buried herself in his arms and cried. At this, Xiao Xing looked awkward. Xiao Yu then said, This is embarrassing, but can you stay like this for a moment? Just for a little while. After that, Xiao Xing just stood there, holding Xiao Yu tightly. It's all right now. A warship was speeding along the Jiangnan River. When Xiao Xing heard that Xiao Yu was missing, he immediately felt that something was unusual. Therefore, he ordered his confidant, Pei Yin, and others to go to Jiangnan on his behalf to deal with the water pirates and rectify the officials. Although the water pirates were difficult to deal with, they were just a disorderly mob, not strong enough to fight against regular troops. Before long, the entire den of water pirates that had been troubling Jiangnan for so long was wiped out. Pei Yin single-handedly dealt with all the officials, and the ringleaders who, out of their own greed, had allowed the water pirates to run rampant were all dragged away and dealt with. From then on, there were no more water pirates in Jiangnan. Xiao Xing was engrossed in his study, but he had chosen to act alone to avoid attracting attention. He had long since received news about the troop movements in Yuzhou. To avoid alerting the enemy, he snuck into the Wei residence in Yuzhou alone to search for evidence of their crimes. After learning that the Wei family was plotting a rebellion, the emperor was furious and ordered men to follow Xiao Xing to surround and capture the criminals. As for Princess Xingyang, out of consideration for past feelings, it was believed she had acted out of a moment of confusion, so she was only punished with permanent confinement in the mountains. The evidence of the crime was clear. Wei Yin and the officials who plotted the rebellion were all executed. In the open square, they were dragged out and beheaded. Wei Su, in clothes that concealed his face, blended into the crowd. Wei Su was captured at that time, but took advantage of the chaotic situation to escape. To this day, no one has found a trace of him, so the search was eventually given up. Xiao Xing had successively resolved 2 major cases. The emperor also took this opportunity to announce Xiao Xing's true identity. He was, in fact, his biological son, and later, he also won the right to inherit the throne. As for Xiao Yu, she finally returned to her parents' side. Many years later, in a suddenly quiet city, Xiao Yu was carrying something in her hands. Walking beside her was Xiao Xing. She asked in surprise, Imperial elder cousin, why did you suddenly think of going out with me today? Aren't your official duties important? Xiao Xing said thoughtfully, if we're talking about whether they're important, they're indeed important. But what does that have to do with going out with you today? Xiao Yu was flustered. That's not what I meant. You are the emperor now. At this, Xiaoxing held his forehead with a sorrowful look. Yuer has grown up. She has betrayed me. She doesn't want to play with her elder cousin anymore. I remember back then, little Yuer would follow me around every day, always calling out elder cousin. Hearing this, Xiao Yu quickly defended herself. I did not. What did I ever do that? Don't talk nonsense. I didn't have a childhood like that. After that, the two of them walked together on the quiet path, as if they had always been close. Everyone respects you, but I'm just an ordinary woman. I was once married to a man who plotted treason. Although the marriage was unsuccessful, it still brought a bad reputation. Xiao Yu wondered, is it really all right to be seen with someone like me? But Xiaoxing didn't think much of it, just patting her head. Elder cousin is still the same elder cousin, and Yuer is still the same Yuer. Still the Yuer I know. It has nothing to do with status or reputation. I just want to hang out with you. Is it not allowed? Xiao Yu still seemed hesitant, stammering. Then, as if she had spotted something interesting ahead, she immediately ran towards it. It looks like there's something very interesting over there. I'll go take a look first. Then the two of them walked together again in a romantic forest with falling leaves fluttering about. Xiao Yu laughed excitedly. Elder brother, you looked so funny just now. Xiaoxing had just been hit in the head with a few pastries. Now, embarrassed and rueful, he said, this is the first time I've played that thing. Next time, I'll definitely be better. Xiao Yu covered her mouth and laughed. This time it hit your face. Next time it'll hit your head. During the lively conversation, Xiao Yu took out the pastries she had prepared. That's right, I made some snacks today. Would elder cousin like to try some? He didn't hesitate to come and have a taste. Yes, no matter how many times I try them, Yuer's snacks are still the most to my liking. Xiao Yu asked with a smug look, is it good? I spent a lot of time this morning making this. Then she suddenly rested her chin on her hand and sighed. Ai, elder cousin usually doesn't pay attention to his food, and he's so picky like this. I'm really worried for the future empress. As soon as she finished speaking, she was pinned against a large tree trunk by Xiaoxing with one hand. Xiao Yu froze. The box of pastries in her hand also fell. Xiaoxing looked straight into her eyes and said, I think you probably knew long ago that the reason your marriages haven't gone smoothly over the years is because I was playing tricks behind the scenes, and you probably also know why I had to do this. Xiao Yu looked a little flustered. I don't know what you're talking about. At this, Xiaoxing in a serious tone. The feelings I can sense from Yuer are for me. Could they be an illusion? Xiao Yu smiled and replied, my personality is very bad, and I get angry easily, but was immediately interrupted by him. Having been by your side for so many years, I'm already used to it. Xiao Yu gave another reason. I'm very picky. I never eat anything I don't like. He countered again. You can eat whatever you want. As long as you want it, I will make it for you. Xiao Yu made another excuse. I spend money extravagantly because I absolutely love exquisite gold jewelry. Xiaoxing replied again, to specially craft the exquisite gold jewelry you like, I have already found the right person. Just tell me what you want. At this point, Xiao Yu had run out of things to refuse, speechless with anger. Xiaoxing quickly took her hand, placed it on his heart, and asked seriously, will you marry me? Xiao Yu hesitated for a moment, then softly agreed. Xiaoxing then lifted her chin. You said it now. I will definitely bring you all the happiness in the world. The story episode ends here. If you enjoyed it, please give me a like and a share so I have more motivation to make more videos. Remember to follow to watch the next episodes. Wish you all a day full of energy.